ורק איתך לא יכול בלי. תודה לך על חושך ויאללה אור הטוב. תודה לך אתה תמיד קרוב. תודה לך על שמש בשמיים בכל יום, על אהבה המלווה לכל מקום. תודה לך על הניסים ויאללה טבע גם. מודה אני מלך חי וקיים. תודה, תודה לך השם, הלב דורש ומבקש על מה שיש לומר. תודה, תודה, תודה לך השם, כל הנשמה תהלל קי וחכה רק לשיר תודה. תודה, תודה לך השם, הלב דורש ומבקש על מה שיש לומר. תודה, תודה, תודה לך השם, כל הנשמה תהלל קי וחכה רק לשיר תודה. פותח את ידיך ומשפיע לכל חי, בהרי כויסי לוחם רוחו עד בלי די. הקל הזן ומפרנס גוזר ומקיים, על הכל תודה לך השם. תודה, תודה לך השם.
There are many words that come to mind when I think of Ohav, but the first would be community.
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 Warm.
Unique. Inclusion. Welcoming.
הקל הזן ומפרנס גוזר ומקיים, על הכל תודה לך השם.
The first word that comes to mind when I think of Ohav is family.
Family. And family.
לומר תודה, תודה, תודה לך השם, כל הנשמה תהלל קי וחכה רק לשיר תודה. תודה
The religious journey.
השם, הלב דורש ומבקש על מה שיש לומר. תודה, תודה, תודה לך השם, כל הנשמה תהלל קי מחכה רק לשיר תודה. For every day.
The first word that comes to mind when I think of Ohav is togetherness.
First one that comes to mind when I think of Ohav is probably fun.
Best I can to make you proud. So all the friends I made along the way, let me hear you sing it out loud. Toda, my thanks to you, my life.
It's everything.
Is you, the darkness to you, you. Toda.
The first word that comes to mind when I think of Ohav has got to be love. There's a ton of love here, and I think you feel it the minute you walk through the door.
We have so much great programming here at Ohav that really meets the needs of the diverse community that we are.
I like going to the weekly class that the rabbi gives. It really helps me feel like I'm learning something and staying current and up to date.
My favorite program at Ohav has got to be the rabbi's classes. I try to attend as much as I can. They're on a wide range of very interesting issues, and the crew that comes to these classes makes them lively and exciting.
The holidays at Ohav Sholom are unbelievable. It starts on Rosh Hashanah all the way through Yom Kippur, and of course Sukkot and Simchas Torah. And the celebrations here and the way that the community gets together to celebrate in a packed room with everybody singing and dancing is really just a sight to behold.
I went to the Men's Club Book Club and it was fabulous.
My favorite men's club event is probably the karaoke nights. I think it's a night where just everyone lets their hair loose. We see a different side of everybody. We see talents of people that we just have never seen before, and it's very memorable.
I've come to some wonderful sisterhood events, including candle making and painting and challah making, cooking demonstrations with cookbook authors, just wonderful programming. I started Mahjong here in my mother's memory.
I really liked when we made baskets for Sukkot.
the reboot of Ohavim. What better thing is than that? Our first initial thing, our night out was axe throwing. And I was so excited when I actually hit it.
So over the years at Ohav, some of my favorite programs is playing softball with the team, going to the journal dinners.
I always liked the communal dinners, the Shabbat dinners especially. I like the fact that a bunch of us would get together for Kabbalat Shabbat, and then maybe more would come later, and we would have a nice Shabbos dinner, and it was relaxing and really enjoyable. The program that I liked is the Back to Shul barbecue, which is nice to see a whole group of people come together that we hadn't seen over the summer.
The programs that we did was a book club with the youth groups, and I think we read Harry Potter, and then we all came together and talked about the chapter that we read.
We're all very big Harry Potter nerds.
Yeah.
One of the things I'm most proud about Ohav Sholom is that we are a leader in the Jewish community, not just here in Merrick or Belmore or the local areas. We sent one of the largest groups to the Salute to Israel parade. We have a large contingent of kids that are going to all kinds of programs in Israel and through day schools and all fun stuff like that. And even for adults, when the community gets together for programming, whether it was the rally we had last summer against anti-Semitism and pro-Israel, it was on our grounds and was packed with Ohav people.
My favorite Ohav memory was the first Shavuot all-night learning that I went to. We did some learning, but I think we did a lot more laughing.
The Purim Spiel was always very special. I'll have to say between the Beatles, which is probably my favorite, and Chicago.
The Little Shop of Horrors. Yeah, that was a good one.
Whether it was during the pandemic when we had our Ohav Connects and we got together online doing so many different activities, and guacamole making, there were sangria making, and we also had game shows and just chats, book clubs. And now that we are physically back together again, we just had a Purim carnival that was so amazing with such high attendance. And there's just so many examples of the ways that we come together as a community, and the programs that we put together every year are unique and really fun.
What makes Ohav so special is got to be the all-inclusiveness. I'm not used to a shul where everybody from every background gets along, and it's refreshing. I got to tell you, judgment-free zone.
What makes Ohav so special is that we are a community of people from all different backgrounds, all different places, and we are welcomed as one.
It doesn't matter where you sit on the observance spectrum, there's a home for you here.
Without a doubt, the people here are what make it so special. Everybody is caring, take care of you, support. It's a wonderful community.
People are very nice to each other. One of the things is that everyone says hello to each other, which is so special. No matter what your age is, or what you do, or what you look like, everyone's very friendly to each other.
I think the craziness. There are so many different personalities, and that makes it unique. And then that's what's so special about Ohav. It's the uniqueness.
Ohav is a special place. You have a lot of people from diverse backgrounds. You walk into Ohav Sholom, you have people smiling at you. There's like a warmth and a feeling of family and community and caring. And it's a place where we were thinking as we were beginning our family that no matter where we sent our kids to school or where we were on our spiritual journey, that we would feel comfortable at Ohav. And it's proven to be the case.
What makes Ohav so special is Rabbi Eben.
Rabbi Eben.
Rabbi Eben.
Rabbi Eben.
Rabbi Eben.
Rabbi Eben.
Yeah, how cool was that? Rabbi Eben is everything to everyone all the time.
Rabbi Eben is full of life.
I have to bring up a sports metaphor. The best ability is availability. He's always there. He's there for everybody, good times, bad times.
Attentive.
Compassion.
He's very compassionate and kind, and he looks out for people.
Really good listener. He's empathetic, patient.
Well, I think he's funny.
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 First word that comes to mind, besides corny jokes, is hardworking.
Hardworking. I have never worked with somebody who just doesn't stop.
The first word that comes to mind when I think of Rabbi Eben is supportive. He does a lot for the community to support all the different members of our community. There's so many people to have to think about, including his own family. He really balances it well, and nobody realizes all the work that goes on behind the scenes.
When we selected Rabbi Eben as a spiritual leader 12 years ago, I was president of the Shul, and I had this big undertaking of replacing Rabbi Wahlberg. The thing that attracted Rabbi Eben to this congregation was his openness, his kiruv, his understanding, the way he teaches, the way he lectures, the way he conducts himself, the way he's open to people's religious backgrounds. He was a true fit to this congregation.
We were looking for a place that we could make a difference. You know, when we came to Merrick, specifically a community that is growing spiritually, growing on a step-by-step process, growing where not everybody is exactly the same and everybody's on that ladder to continue growth. This was a perfect fit for us, I thought, and it was something that was very attractive to me.
I just felt like the people were warm and welcoming and wanting to talk to me, and and it made a very solid impression. I just felt like I could really connect with people.
I think people were excited when we came here for the first time, excited for something new. I mean, obviously, Rabbi Wahlberg had been here for 47 years. I always joke, but I think it's a little bit true that in Merrick they knew about 3 rabbis in Jewish history. It was Eben, Wahlberg, and Moses, right? So I feel like, they were excited to see what the new tomorrow will be. And that was exciting for me as well. Like, you could sense the excitement that something new, something special was about to happen in this community, and people were embracing it.
What makes Rabbi Eben so special is that he's so personal and personable to everyone. It's like that grandparent that everyone thinks that they were the favorite. That's how I think everybody feels like, oh, my family is Rabbi Eben's favorite.
Rabbi Eben combines confidence and leadership with humility.
He's not intimidating. He's somebody who you really think that you can go to and speak to and feel comfortable with.
He always kind of knows what's happening. He knows what to do, what to say at any given moment.
Rabbi Eben has a special relationship with each kid and knows exactly what they like and how to make them happy.
Rabbi Eben is very humble, and he is very caring and sensitive in a way that, it took me a long time to really sort of believe it. But now that I have seen so many specific examples, both sort of behind the scenes and in front of the scenes, whether it's celebrating with a new couple or even something that I experienced when my father passed away. And I can't think of a more sensitive spiritual leader. I mean, for me, it really made such a terrible experience just so much more grounded, and I really felt cared for. And I know that there are many others in the synagogue who have expressed feeling something very similar.
My mother passed away very unexpectedly, and it was actually with Rabbi Eben's help and support that got me through a very difficult time.
It's hard to capture into words how much he was there for us in our time of need.
We're here to be a part of people's lives. That's what we want. We want to be able to have the opportunity to go from birth to marriage and beyond. I want to be able to look at these kids and say that I was there when you were little, and now to watch you grow up. I want to be able to have the opportunities to celebrate smachot with people, good times, and also to be with them during challenging times. And this community really just embraced that. They love to be loved, and they welcomed us as part of their family right away.
Rabbi Eben, not only does he provide counsel and support and compassion and services for our members, but he goes outside of the community and to the Islam Center when they had the tragedy of the massacre. He organized that we go as a temple to show our support and love for them.
I'm actually the chair of the Interfaith Dialogue Committee at the Rabbinical Council of America, and I'll be able to develop these relationships with this particular group from the Hizmet movement in Turkey. They have shown us to be incredible friends, and of course we are friends to them. They reached out to me after the tragedy in Pittsburgh and the Pittsburgh shooting and said, we want to be able to embrace and speak to your community and show a brotherhood and solidarity. We followed up with an iftar. I've spoken at their programs. I've also met their spiritual leader. And I also think that that gives us a new exposure to different people, recognizing that we have a lot in common. We are working for the greater good.
The best Rabbi Eben memory that I have is when I first joined the Shul, and I found him on YouTube doing the Moth Slam, which is a short story competition, which he won. And he was very dynamic and very engaging and very funny, and I said to myself, giddy up, this is going to be a ride, this is going to be fun.
So one day he said that he was going to be performing in the Moth competition, and we went to the competition, and he was so funny, and we had such a good time, and he told this really funny story about burying books.
And then it was my turn to say the holy prayers. So I go to get my book. Surprise! And the son-in-law says, do you want us to try to get it, Rabbi? And I said, no, we're not going to try to get it.
Chevi and I have a good rapport. She's very funny. I've had a number of opportunities both in Shul and in the Eben home to dialogue with her. She's a great resource as well and very knowledgeable. She comes from a strong background, very long rabbinic legacy, so she's a knowledgeable person and very funny. The Ebens are a walking comedy show.
She's there, always behind the scenes, helping to keep their household together, and also keeping Rabbi Eben on top of things, making sure that he's getting it right, that he's attuned to what's going on in his community, that he knows the right things to say at the right times, and getting the advice that he needs from that perspective. So they've both been an amazing asset to the community.
Chavi's always just really, really warm and friendly and really considerate of being the partner to Rabbi Eben. We love going there for Purim. She makes an awesome potato kugel, almost as good as Rob Stein's, sorry Chavi. But it's always a fun time being with them.
I really enjoy when the community comes to our house in the informal kind of settings, either on Purim or on Shavuos at a tea, and Ira sits at the head of the table. And it's so much more personal than when he's standing up here giving his drasha, and I just feel like it's a good way for him to connect with people.
One of the things that he came up with, which I thought was a fantastic idea, was on Simchat Torah, to introduce the shul to an Eshes Chaya. We have a Chasam Torah, a Chasam Bereshis, and normally it goes to a man. So he wanted to, his idea was to, include women. So I thought it was fantastic.
Over the years, the innovations that we've made, that we introduced, were, to me, most exciting. The first time we had a community Seder, the first time we had a Hanukkah lighting, the first time we brought in Torah tours, our intern for synagogue education, when we had a female intern. These are just a few events and programs. Some of them were short-term, some of them continue till this very day. Those are exciting.
I come to Shul to hear the rabbis' speeches on Shabbos. I think they're brilliant and well thought out, and after almost every one of them, I want to yell, Am Yisrael Chai.
Some of my proudest times are around the high holidays. I feel like Ira creates an unbelievable vibe here on the high holidays. His talents really shine. It's magical. I've walked out of Yom Kippur davening feeling like I've had a transformation.
My favorite Rabbi Eben memory is his first weekend here. It was a trial run, and I remember sitting with him at his table, and he went to say Kiddush for Friday night dinner, and he started fumbling because he was saying the wrong Kiddush.
He was nervous, but instead of saying the Shabbos Kiddush, he said the Yontif Kiddush. So that was pretty funny.
And I'm sure he was praying nobody noticed, but he came through. He got the job. He's still here. So
my favorite Rabbi Eben memory is his Shabbos vegetarian cholents. That's why I come.
Great about Kiddush is that one of the things I learned is that if you feed people, they like you. And so I could give a speech and a class and hit a home run, but it means nothing to me if my cholent isn't good. That's the Jewish mother in me, and I love making cholent at Ohav Sholom, and I think I've gotten the recipe down perfect. So one of the things Chavi and I were talking about before is about how well run this shul is, and how passionate the volunteers are, how talented the volunteers are.
I consider Rabbi Eben a friend, and getting to know him and work with him is one of the very top highlights of being president here. The other thing about Rabbi Eben as a partner is there really is no task that is too big or too small. And then on a larger scale, I was president of the Hebrew school years ago, and I got to work closely with Rabbi Eben then, and that was at a time when we were in need of a new principal, and that's when Rabbi Eben took the helm of leadership for the Hebrew school, being the principal, and he's done a fantastic job then. So it's really great to be partners with Rabbi Eben.
A few years ago, I had the honor of taking over as the principal of the Hebrew school, and it is, don't get me wrong, it's a tremendous challenge. I always talk about the responsibility that we have to develop literate Jewish adults. We have a very strong curriculum that we're focused on, that we want the children, of course, to love being Jewish, to learn all about the holidays. We want them to learn how to read and that to be comfortable with the siddur, and that someday they're going to be in college and they're going to be at Hillel House and they'll say, can anybody lead Kabbalah Shabbat? And our kids will say, yes, they can.
Thank you for the siddur, Rabbi. Thank you, Rabbi, for the activities you plan. Thank you, Rabbi. You do everything.
Regarding our adult education program and our classes, there is a special relationship that a teacher has with their students. And there's no greater joy to teach Torah. I get tremendous strength from it. I could be exhausted, I could be not feeling well, I could be anything. And if it's my class, I'm immediately energized because I love to share and I love the excitement it has when you get a student of any age who's excited to learn. We had a Torah dedication written by the Adwar family, and it was one of the great moments of our 12 years. It was so exciting, not just that we have a new Torah and that so many people got to participate in writing in it, but that parade that we had with that monster truck, it was so cool.
When Anat was a very little girl, we were at a very crowded engagement party, and Anat was, got lost. How that happens, I don't know who's responsible for her. And she pulled on the leg of the nearest person and said, have you seen my daddy? His name is Rabbi Eben and he lives in the shul. Well, that got back to us, and how funny is that? She thinks he lives in the shul.
And the truth is that for our kids, we very much live in the shul. We've always, to them, this is their second home, this is our home, and the shul has always been a part of their home. One of the things that we ingrained in our kids is that we live to serve. And so our kids have been very much the unsung hero. We've gotten them to work late at night, early in the morning, and the reason is because we live to serve, and this is our home. We live in the shul.
Yeah, my daughter Shira, who is in Israel this year, and in a program that has a lot of Israelis, they had the Americans get up in front of the Israelis and talk about their lives in America. And Shira was the designated person to talk about community and what a community is like, and how it's surrounding a shul, and how everybody, comes together and they do social activities together, and they, and religious activities together.
And support each other
in all different times. And I was so proud that she got up and spoke about Merrick as the paradigm American Jewish community, which I think it is disappointing.
Isaac thinks he works for the shul, actually. He volunteers for bingo, and he loves it. He ran the youth programs and from when we had Ohav Connects, he was participated and ran some Pokemon contest. And when you talk about me being the face of the shul, I think this kid is the face of the shul. He was born here a few months after we got here, and I think people see him as their kid. He's their pride and joy to have watched him grow up. And everybody knows this kid. He's definitely the face of Ohav Sholom.
A recent tear-jerker moment that I had was my daughter Shlomi got married, and we had Shabbos Sheva Brachot here in Merrick, and she got up and made the most beautiful speech with a very developed Dvar Torah, and spoke about how she had spoken a decade before, almost to the day, at her bat mitzvah from this pulpit, and really how it came full circle that she was speaking again during her Shabbat Sheva Brachot. It really has impacted them. Our lives here have really impacted them, and that became clear to me when, now all grown up and married, she was able to speak to that.
At her bat mitzvah, she concluded her last line with saying, "Thank you for being part of my bat mitzvah and a part of my life." And I think 10 years later that she really felt that. She really felt that connection to the community, and she was excited to be able to share this moment with the shul. A couple of things that I really would love to work on. One of them is get more Torah learning, more study in our community. I think that there's interest, and it just some people have to figure out how to find the time. And there are so many resources available. I'd love to be able to be a community of learners, whether it means recreating the chaburot that were around from before I came, or creating WhatsApp groups or whatever, or more using modern resources. A community where everybody learns a little bit. We're not learning 20 hours a day. Everybody's learning 5, 10, 20 minutes, a half hour a day. I think that would be life-changing and change our community completely. And the other project that we're currently working on is the Brett Gitson Bikur Cholim project. The hope is to be able to create a network where volunteers come and help individuals, case by case, figuring out what they need, what resources we have to provide for them, and every case, every individual will be different. It's a community of caring, and so these are the projects that I hope that helps us continue to grow. We've been blessed to be a part of this community for 12 years. I consider it an honor. Chavi feels it's an honor as well to be able to serve this every single day. Every day I get to do something great to help people. So we're celebrating today 12 years. It's not celebrating us. It's celebrating the community, how much we've grown, the special people in our community, the leaders, the members, the staff. We have to mention the incredible staff that I get to work with on a regular basis. People who are just love other people, love to serve. We're here to celebrate the Shul, and that's what this means to me. Otherwise, I would never have accepted it.
Mitzvah in the Kitzvah.